Last week, I made a video about the attention economy, how this device can take up hours and hours of your day, every day for the rest of your life. And then I got tens of thousands of views on that video and hundreds of comments from people just as frustrated with this nonsense as me. And I realized what we need are not solutions at the level of the individual or tools. This is a generational problem. What we need is a movement, breaking free of the attention economy together. So let's talk about it. In the last video, I talked about why the attention economy is bad for us. The mental health impacts, the reduced quality of sleep, our lack of ability to pay attention, all of these things are pretty bad for us. I also talked about, more philosophically, how attention is the foundation of love. Our ability to pay attention to something is how we love things. Our time is also not a resource like money, it is our literal existence. And so when we lose the ability to pay attention, or we are robbed of that ability through the attention economy, and we spend our time on things we don't care about, this is a much graver loss than like monetary losses. It was an argument based on fear and loss, based on my own experiences, feeling like I could no longer control my time and my attention and direct it towards the things and the people that I loved. It was an argument based on desperation. And I think a lot of people resonated with that because the attention economy kind of makes us feel desperate and out of control. But arguments based on fear can only inspire for a little while. We can only drive ourselves through spite for Mark Zuckerberg, for so long. Instead, what's more important is hope that we can live better lives, more intentional lives, more focused on our loved ones and our favorite things. That is what I have found over the last 5 years of experimenting with digital minimalism at various stages, as well as especially the last 2 weeks where I've cut down much harder. So let's talk about that experience over time. I don't want to make this video too much about me, so I'm only going to tell this story insofar as it is useful to inspire some kind of hope about how much better life can be without so much digital distraction. I started this journey about 5 years ago, and during that time, it was COVID, right? So it was really easy to spend all of your time doom scrolling. I saw my screen time go up from like 2 hours to 6, and I would wake up every morning, start doom scrolling for about an hour, just like waking up to the worst atrocities the world had to offer. And then I would like sign on to my online Zoom classes and I would doom scroll during class, between classes, non-stop consumption. And it made me anxious, unsurprisingly. I had a lot of difficulty thinking clearly, working on my assignments, and all of that kind of stuff. And then I started working on digital decluttering. I cut down my screen time to about an hour to an hour and a half. I allowed myself a little bit of scrolling, but set some blockers. And that cleared things up a lot. I felt a lot less anxious. I was able to focus a little bit more. Life was better. But nowhere near the benefits I got when I cut down to like 10 minutes just recently. We're not watching TV shows together, my girlfriend and I. I'm not scrolling at all. There's not even music or podcasts on my phone. I'm not watching YouTube, and I'm not playing video games, something I've done since I can't even remember. And what's happened is, for the first time, as somebody who's suffered with anxiety his entire life, I am calm. I can think clearly. I've been doing more work than usual, like a lot more, and yet I don't feel overwhelmed. And most importantly, though, I pay way more attention and care in my interactions with my girlfriend. We spend time together going on walks because there's no Netflix to watch during the lunch break, so we go on a walk together, or after work, and we spend time laughing and talking and telling stories in the evening. Sometimes we watch a film, and then it's a chance to engage with art, but not, our third run through The Office. And the same is true of spending time with my friends. I spend more time in person with them than I ever have, and I'm so happy to get that time with them. Time that I wouldn't have had I continued to constantly watch YouTube, Netflix, and all of that jazz. And that's the change that can happen when one person does something about the attention economy. And this video is about something bigger than that, making the changes together. It's something I call the network effect of intentionality. Now, we know lots about network effects in social media, right? This is one of the reasons Facebook works, or Instagram, or Discord. It's because everybody uses it. It's really easy to use it. Everybody's already there. I think the same is true when people unplug. Here's how the network effect of intentionality and digital minimalism works. Now, normally, let's say nobody's doing the digital minimalism thing, right? At the end of a long day of work or school, you're probably going to go home tired and do the easiest thing, which is watch some Netflix, watch YouTube, play some video games, that kind of thing. Now, we all want to be more socially connected. I want to go see my friends, but it's just hard. So we default to not seeing each other. It's just more work than chilling on the couch. Now, if one of us does the digital minimalism thing, let's say it's just me, I have no Netflix, no YouTube, I might call up a friend and see if they're free. But they're busy. They're busy being tired on the couch watching Netflix. And so I might fall back on my old habits because there's nothing to do. I want to see my friends, but they're tired. And that's fair. I'm not shaming them for that. But I have a friend who is doing this digital minimalism thing too. My friend Michael. And so he's cut out Netflix, video games, all of that stuff just like me. And so when I'm bored on a Tuesday evening and there's nothing to do, I can call him up. And because there's two of us ready to hang out more often than not, it's a lot easier to get the third one to ditch the Netflix for that evening, or fourth, or fifth, and have a great evening in the middle of the week. And you can still call it by 10 and get to work on time the next day. That's the basis of the network effect of intentionality. The same thing works for ditching Instagram. Let's say you're privacy-centric and you know Meta sucks, right? But your friend group does Instagram group chats to connect with one another. If it's just me who wants to ditch Instagram, I can't pull everybody over to some other messaging platform or to just calling each other up. But if there's two or three of us doing this too, we can move the group to something more privacy-centric or something where we're not being fed ads and stuff in the middle of our conversation. The network effect of intentionality and digital minimalism means the more of us who are doing this, the easier it is to live your entire life intentionally away from platforms that want to suck up your attention, your time, and feed you ads and take your data. That is the network effect of intentionality, and that's why this, as a community, as a movement, together, is more effective than what any one of us could do on our own. And so I think we've demonstrated that there is something to hope for here, not just spite to drive us to ditch our digital overuse. As an individual, you can hope to feel less anxious and more focused. You can hope to be able to pay attention to the things that you love and the people that you love. As a friend group or a community, you can leverage the network effect of intentionality and feel more connected to one another. But I think there's one more step we can take as a larger community online, and that is a series of initiatives that we'll be running together. So let's talk about that. Since the attention economy video dropped just last week, we have been busy as a new community developing resources that you yourself can contribute to and learn from. This first one is the Digital Minimalist Lab resource page, and it's gonna be a wiki full of tools, tips, applications that you can use to spend less time on your smartphone and digital media, as well as open source tools that you can use to self-host yourself out of the attention and surveillance economies. You can catch a nicer version on Leaflet thanks to Zan. If you're in software or have software development skills, a lot of these tools to help you escape the attention economy are open source. And so we have plans as a community to start organizing contributions over to some projects. I think this would be a fantastic way to use our technical skills, our skills largely as home labbers and technologists, to help other people break free of the attention economy. And so I'm looking for people to start working on that and start organizing around that. One initiative that I'm going to be running myself is the 30-day digital declutter cohorts. These are a group of people signing up to start a 30-day digital declutter together. There is a protocol including weekly check-ins, a sort of initial survey, buddy system, all of that kind of stuff. And it's based on Cal Newport's digital declutter system from Digital Minimalism. I'm going to show you some of the resources and how you can sign up, and then we'll talk about starting together. This is the protocol for the 30-day digital declutter. This is going to be what we're using during our cohorts. We'll probably be starting next Thursday, and the signups will be available in the description of this YouTube video. There's a couple of things that you need to do to participate in this. This is like hardcore digital detox, okay? So there are core readings. You're expected to read Digital Minimalism, read some of the blogs that I've put out. We will be having a scheduled check-in every week. We've got a buddy system, and we're using some of the psychological behavioral interventions that I learned about before I dropped out of my PhD. Things like mental contrasting and implementation intentions, all of that kind of jazz to make you as successful as possible cutting down your digital use. If you're interested, this is the sort of entry survey that again will be linked in the description of this video. While I think that any level of intervention, anything you do to reduce your smartphone overuse and your digital media consumption is beneficial, nothing has ever been as effective as the 30-day digital declutter that I'm running for myself right now, and I want to run with you all. So if you're very serious about decluttering your digital overuse and cutting back, This, I think, is the way to do it. This is the first one. It's going to be scrappy and kind of disorganized and kind of a mess. But if you're down to be sort of a pioneer of this thing, then I hope to see you there. The last thing I want to address in this video is the sort of irony of organizing a digital minimalist and attention economy movement on Discord, YouTube, and Google Docs. Like, that feels incoherent. But I think there is a way to make that work, and it's through standard operating procedures, one of the ideas that Cal presents in Digital Minimalism. Now, with YouTube, for example, there is a benefit to watching YouTube videos. There's a lot of educational content. The problem is when you're constantly fed so much information that you can't keep up. So we can introduce a standard operating procedure so that you can find my video, for example, or other things that you find interesting without letting the feed take over how you consume information. I recommend this. Block the YouTube feed by default. You can watch my last video on extensions and things like that to block the feed. Block it by default, and then open it for 30 minutes on Saturday morning. Bookmark all the videos and ideas that you think would be interesting so that you have access to them for later, and then shut the feed down again. This way, you get the benefit of new ideas entering your life without YouTube taking over your life. The same can be said for Discord. We're going to be organizing over Discord, but you don't have to be chronically on Discord to make this happen. You can set standard operating procedures. Mine, for example, are to use Discord on Mondays 4 to 5 to connect with all of you, Thursdays 4 to 6 during my stream, and Fridays also 4 to 5 while I'm uploading this video. This way, I get to connect with all of you, organize about ideas, share what I'm thinking about, and then sign off and go about my regular life. This way we can organize this movement without letting the movement and its tools overtake us. So that's the video. And the last thing, I swear, the last thing I want to say, other than sign up for the 30-day cohort because it's going to be awesome, is that we need to stop pretending this is a small issue. This is not about a couple minutes spent here and there scrolling some memes. This is about being able to pay attention to the things that you love, the people that you love, spending your time doing the things that you want to do. When I made last week's video, I told a story about me and how I could change, and maybe you could too. But then tens of thousands of you said that you also hated the attention economy and what it was doing for you. With that many people, that frustrated, I think that change is inevitable. I think we can do that. We just have to start. So let's start. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.